The real story of Pablo Escobar, childhood and early life. Pablo Escobar was born in Colombia in 1949 in a small town near Medellín. His family lived a modest life, and from an early age, Escobar was surrounded by poverty, inequality, and corruption. These conditions shaped his worldview and taught him a harsh lesson early on. Power mattered more than rules. As a teenager, Escobar showed little interest in education. Instead, he became fascinated with money, influence, and control. He was known for taking risks, often engaging in small, illegal activities, such as selling contraband goods and forging documents. Even at a young age, he believed that wealth was the only path to respect and safety. People who knew him during this time described him as ambitious and fearless, but also calculating. He was not violent yet, but he was already willing to cross moral boundaries if it meant personal gain. These early choices laid the foundation for everything that would come later. Entering the criminal world. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Colombia was becoming a key transit point for illegal goods moving toward the United States. Escobar quickly realized that crime was not just about breaking laws, but about controlling systems. He began working with organized smuggling groups, learning how transportation routes functioned and how authorities could be bribed or avoided. During this period, Escobar discovered cocaine, a drug that was still relatively unknown, but rapidly growing in demand in North America. Unlike others, Escobar understood something crucial. Whoever controlled distribution would control the market. Instead of focusing on production alone, he focused on logistics, protection, and expansion. This strategic thinking set him apart from other criminals of his time. Rise of the Medellín Cartel. By the late 1970s, Pablo Escobar had become one of the key figures behind what would later be known as the Medellín Cartel. His operation expanded at an unprecedented pace, supplying massive amounts of cocaine to the United States every single day. At its peak, the cartel was earning millions of dollars daily. The amount of cash became so overwhelming that Escobar reportedly lost large sums simply due to damage, theft, or decay. Money was no longer something he counted. It was something he managed like a resource. Escobar built a private army to protect his operations. He bribed officials, intimidated rivals, and ensured loyalty through fear and rewards. His influence grew so powerful that entire regions of Colombia became dependent on his money. Power through fear and loyalty. Escobar ruled using a simple philosophy: silver or lead. People were given a choice: accept his money or face the consequences. This approach allowed him to eliminate resistance quickly and efficiently. However, Escobar understood that fear alone was not enough. To protect himself, he carefully built a public image as a man of the people. He funded housing projects, schools, and football fields for poor communities. To many locals, he was seen as a benefactor rather than a criminal. This dual image made him extremely dangerous. While governments viewed him as a threat, many civilians protected him, warned him of police movements, and refused to cooperate with authorities. Escobar had successfully embedded himself into society. Political ambitions. As his power grew, Escobar attempted to legitimize his influence through politics. He sought public office, hoping to gain immunity and legal protection. For a brief moment, he succeeded, entering Colombia's political system. But his past could not remain hidden forever. Investigations exposed his criminal activities, forcing him out of politics and turning the government fully against him. From this point on, Escobar became a target not only for Colombian authorities, but also for international agencies. The conflict escalated rapidly, violence increased, and Colombia entered one of its darkest periods. Bombings, assassinations, and kidnappings became common tools in Escobar's war against the state. Collapse of the empire. By the early 1990s, Escobar's empire was beginning to fracture. Law enforcement pressure intensified, rival groups emerged, and former allies turned against him. The man who once controlled entire regions was now constantly on the run. In 1993, after years of hiding, Pablo Escobar was located by Colombian security forces. He was killed during an attempted escape, marking the end of one of the most powerful criminal empires in history. His death was celebrated by some, mourned by others, and remembered worldwide as a symbol of unchecked power and corruption. Reflection and legacy. Pablo Escobar's story is often portrayed as glamorous or dramatic, but the reality is far darker. His rise was fueled by inequality, fear, and violence. His fall revealed how fragile power truly is. Today, Escobar remains one of the most infamous figures in modern history. His life serves as a reminder that influence built on fear eventually collapses, and that no empire, no matter how powerful, is permanent.